All right, you guys. So this is Editor again. You guys are watching Fresh News. Trend is. I want to talk about trends, and I believe that trends. There's a reason why trends exist. Trends exist because humans long for connections. But I believe that it should never be used on the expense of losing ourselves, our convictions, or moral values and identity, because that is very important. But trends is very important. The reason why there's so many trends going on is because we want connection with people. Connection is something that binds us together as human beings. We find a connection, something for us to a connection, a deep connection with people. And I want to tell you one of the trends that's very common in Southern California, the Disneyland. There's so many people that love going to Disneyland, and I'm part of that trend. I love Disneyland, and I'm going to explain to you one of the reason why I love Disneyland, other than the fact that you connect with people. I'm a Pixar fan. I ever since I was a kid, I kind of enjoy the computer animation films, specifically because the type of personification that they use on these characters, where they kind of use like ordinary current lives, and they kind of apply it to fishes or cars, an alternative world with, or like Nemo or the Incredibles, when they use they humanize these superheroes as just ordinary people, like with normal family problems, and I find that very neat. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy many of the stories, many of the storylines from Pixar. And I'm a Marvel movie fan. I enjoy it. Ever since Captain America: Winter Soldier came, I wasn't so much in the Iron Man, but once Captain America came, I began to follow the movies of Marvel, and I liked it. And of course I grew up watching Batman, Dragon Ball Z, Digimon, but I'm a Marvel fan. Another thing about Disneyland is that I love traveling, and when you go to Disneyland, you see the ages, different ages, the diversified of ages, different. You have teenagers, you have parents, families with the kids, and you have young couples. You even have older couples. You have older people. It was a very fun experience going in Disneyland, and I also admire the empire of Disneyland. A little how a cartoon Mickey Mouse character has the ability to acknowledge acquires so many companies, and it creates a monopoly. Part of it is a problem because Disneyland is pretty much like that empire from Star Wars, which is one reason why they probably got that the movies, and Star Wars. And don't get me started on Star Wars. I'm not part of the Star Wars fan club. However, I do admire. I've seen all the movies, but I do admire classical movies. I believe that it's part of American history, of the cinema history in America, and I like that. Like the Universal monsters and all that. So this is the reason why I fall into the trend of Disneyland. This is the reason why, and yes, I'm aware of the subliminal messages that they bring out, which I disagree, but I cannot say that everybody in the company is bad. I do believe that there's even in our government, that there's good politicians, bad politicians. So there is some people in the corporate Disney company that they use. I'll say that they're pretty people that wouldn't feel comfortable around my children. And one of the last things about Disneyland that I love is the nostalgia. The themes in certain areas in the park. They bring you back to a different time where America, and that's the reason why I love the trend of Disney. But I love it more. But here's why I love it more with people. Everybody's around there, so there's something that connects. The trend. But another thing about trending that I feel that this is where we have to be very, very careful, is that trends sometimes makes us compare with people, such as the social media. The unrealistic expectations that you see in social media. You are a couple, so you feel you have to compete with the other couple because they look happy on social media, not realizing that behind the scenes, behind that picture, is a whole different story. You have them fighting each other. You have no idea what they're going through. Social media, they tell you have to live up to the standard. You have to see these places, and that this is where the trendiness is wrong, where you begin to feel insecure and you're not confident. I believe that you need to go to God and go to Jesus to find the confidence, the reassurance of who you are, because you cannot find it by comparison with people. And that's the type of trendiness where I believe that it's not anymore about connecting with people, but it's now a competition, feeling that there's a feeling of lacking because you're not like the other person. But another trendiness that they actually do is the movements. You see, the movements is actually where I also disagree with. I learned my lesson in Kony 2012. This was in a time, I don't know if Twitter was doing trends, but following Facebook, I believe that was one of the first trends in social media, political views. It was about Kony 2012, about he was a guerrilla warfare warlord, and he was getting kids to fight in wars, which he was not a good guy. But the problem is, the regime that they were fighting against was no better. And this is something that I've actually seen since I was in high school. I saw a video, I was moved by it. I saw the footages, and it's horrible. But Kony 2012 was in a way was used as a propaganda for the youth to lobby, to put pressure on Obama, who was the president at that time, to go to war in the central part of Africa. And I'm not saying that, and it does serve a purpose. It does serve a good, because I do believe that there is some pressure where we need to see when these things is going on in countries. But it was used as a propaganda machine. And I believe that right after that, many of movements began to surface on social media. And this is very, very, very dangerous, a dangerous game, that when we follow trends, we tend to follow ideologies, not doing our research, and not realizing what they're standing for. And this is the problem with trendiness, that I think that we need to be very, very careful of how we do it, because there is a trend where it's important to connect with people. With what's happening with Black Lives Matter, I do think it's important for us to connect with many Black brothers. Even if I disagree with the narrative, I have to connect with them in some way, because it will be horrible to be in their shoes, to believe that there is actually a system in this country where they are being killed disproportionately. And that is, even though I disagree with that, I think that it's something that I wouldn't want anybody to live with that fear and be anxious like that. So I just wanted to say that, trends they do serve a purpose because they connect us, but they do have a problem when you feel that you need to be when you're pressured to be something that you're not, and you lose your own identity. So just wanted to finish that. You guys have a great day, and please subscribe to my channel, Fresh News, or like my page you can follow me. You can follow me on Facebook, and just like my page, Fresh News. All right. You guys have a great day.